Folks, welcome to another episode. We had a UFC games over the past weekend. Uh, there were a few games that played over the past weekend, but I'm gonna be going over a few of the ones that I really followed closely. Um, Starting with the Bulls that played on Friday, I think Friday night they played Scarlets in Wales. And they lost this game, the Bulls. I think in that game they played really well actually. The Bulls, the Scarlets were not as strong. I don't think the Scarlets were able to match the Bulls in the game, but I feel like there were many opportunities for the Bulls to really leave this game with a high score on the final scoreboard. I think the set piece was good from the Bulls. I think their attack was good. They managed to get in the red zones of Scarlets. My main problem was that when they given these opportunities, they were not ruthless. They were not ruthless enough to finish off the chances that they were offered by Scarlets. For example, even by halftime, the score was very close, 10-19. The Bulls were leading, but it's not a big score, after that dominant first half they had on the Scarlets. I think they scored about 3 tries in the first half, and Scarlets only scored about 1 try, but they were able to get a penalty just before halftime, and then things were very close. So what happens is that if the game is this close and the home side were dominated, but they managed to contain and stay in the game, they usually continue in the second half. They come back stronger, or they come back with some confidence, because now they will feel like they were able to contain you and for that long while you were very dominant. So that's what happened here. So in the second half, I think the Scarlets were able to come back more confident. They were very confident. You could see that they were in the first half they were dominated by the Bulls, but they understood that if they could have the strong defense just to contain them, they could stay on in the game. So that's what happened in the game, guys. I think towards the end, the Bulls they gave away 1 penalty, and Scarlets found themselves inside the Bulls in the red zone, and they got a line out there, a few plays, and the Bulls were under pressure, give away a red card, which is not really a red card because they have reversed that red card to a yellow card. But yeah, and then from this red card, they launched more pressure on the Bulls, and then the Bulls considered a try. My view is that it's not a yellow card. It's not a red card, first of all. But I think the Bulls should blame themselves, because if you get so many chances to score, you don't score, then you must forget. You must forget. You must forget. You're not gonna win games if you're that blunt when you get chances. I don't know how many times they went to the Scarlets' red zone, but they were not scoring, giving away turnovers, making mistakes on their own. So they lost the game. I think they lost the game. They will learn something from this, something major going forward. Especially when you're visiting teams in Europe, you need to be very ruthless. So the Bulls lost this game. Then I followed this game also, the Stormers versus Munster. This game was played in Cape Town at the DHL Stadium. I think both sides came to this game. They were very cautious at the start. I think both sides were very cautious. They were checking each other out, who was gonna do what are the tactics and all that. But I feel like the Stormers grew in the game as it proceeded. I think they grew in the game. They became more confident. I think Munster were error-ridden in this game. There were too many errors from them. Their defense was defense was okay, but the attack was very blunt. They were forcing plays at times, knock-ons. They were doing some things wrong on the racks also. The set piece was okay, but as the game also continued, they started to lose the set piece battle to the Stormers. So I think Munster really have themselves to blame here also, because I feel like they were not sharp on the night. There were too many mistakes. Even the Stormers, though, even though they won, I don't think they are that strong. They are not that strong. I think if you really turn your muscle on them and then you really do something on them, you can really shake them, the Stormers. Players who played well for the Stormers, I think Damian Willemse was incredible. He was the man of the match. I think he carried the whole team, actually, because I think the assists and the points. Some of the points came from him. Suleiman Hassanbek was brilliant. Number 8, Keke, was brilliant. Morabe was brilliant. He carries very well, Keke Morabe. So yeah, I think it was not a perfect game from both sides, but from Munster's side, it was horrible. It was horrible. I think they have a lot to fix going forward, but the Stormers also should not really lie down because they're gonna face Glasgow next week. I think Munster are gonna go and visit the Sharks. It won't be an easy one for them. They need to fix these things very quickly. The third one I followed was it this one? Yeah, it was the Sharks played Glasgow in Durban. So coming to this game, I think most people thought that Glasgow were gonna walk over the Sharks. Not walk over, but people thought they were gonna win this game, Glasgow. But I think the Sharks came really prepared. They came prepared. They didn't have good stats. Both sides, I think, they were very average at the start, but I think also they grew in the game as it continued. They grew in the game. Glasgow were also error-ridden in this game. There were too many mistakes they were making. They were not really the Glasgow we usually know, the one from last year in the finals. So they were also making mistakes. As I said, the Sharks grew in confident. They were starting to score some tries. They scored a try through Siya Kolisi and Apelele Fasi. Their defense started to be very aggressive when they were defending against Glasgow. They were hitting them hard. They were physical. Ox, Bongi, Vincent, Ebenezer, Sia, Chituka, the brothers. I'm not sure all of them were there. Chituka, yeah, they were really physical in defense. They really played well here. They were hitting Glasgow hard. At times they had some lapses in their defense, which allowed Glasgow to score a few tries through the number 9, Horn. But throughout the game, I think the Sharks were really doing well. They were on top. They were above Glasgow in performance. Glasgow never really looked like they were going to win this game. But the only thing I have with the Sharks is the defense towards the end. They gave away about 2 tries within a minute, which allowed Glasgow to have a bonus point, 2 bonus points from this game. So, which is something that's really careless from the Sharks. I think they have to improve in that. But they won this game. I didn't think they were gonna win against Glasgow. The last game I watched was Connacht versus Leinster. It was played in Ireland. This game, I think this game was one-sided, if I may say. It was one-sided. I think Leinster were just dominant from the start here. Connacht never really looked like they were gonna win the game. Leinster, I think they scored about 4 tries in the first half. They had a BP already by halftime. Leinster, I think Connacht only scored 1 try in the first half, unconverted try. It was not a good game for Connacht. I think they struggled. To get ball position in the first half. I think in the second half they improved a bit, but I feel like it was too late for them, and because even though they scored a second try in the second half, it was quickly cancelled by Leinster through number 11, Osborne, I think. Yeah. So they were not in the game. Connacht, they struggled in the breakdown. It was hard for them when they were attacking Leinster. The defense of Leinster was really coming up aggressively. So they struggled. They really struggled. So yeah, but this is a game I watched. These are the games I watched. Leinster won this game, I think, at the end by 33-12, I think. Yeah. So yeah, guys, the round 5 of URC is done now. We look forward to round 6. Thanks.